In my dark and silent world, the desire to express myself grew. The few signs I used became less and less adequate, and my failures to make myself understood were invariably followed by outbursts of passion. I felt as if invisible hands were holding me, and I made frantic efforts to free myself. I struggled. Not that struggling helped matters, but the spirit of resistance was strong within me. I generally broke down in tears and physical exhaustion. Miss Sullivan slowly spelled into my hand the word doll. I was at once interested in this finger play and tried to imitate it. When I had finally succeeded in making all of the letters correctly, I was flushed with childish pleasure and pride. I did not know that I was spelling a word or even that words existed. I was simply making my fingers go in a monkey-like imitation. According to Sense International, only 0.2% of the world's population suffers from deaf blindness. Strongly empathized in her autobiography, Helen Keller shares the rarity of an unusual education and how she overcame all odds despite this obstacle. The Story of My Life by Helen Keller. At the beginning, I was only a little mass of possibilities. I will never forget the delight I felt when I said my first sentence. Discouragement and weariness cast me down frequently, but the thought that I would soon be at home and show my loved ones what I had accomplished encouraged me. I eagerly looked forward to their pleasure in my achievement. My little sister will understand me now, was a thought stronger than all obstacles. I used to repeat ecstatically, I am not dumb now. I could not be despondent while I anticipated the delight of talking to my mother and reading the responses from her lips. It astonished me how much easier it was to talk than it was to spell with fingers, and I discarded the manual alphabet. But Miss Sullivan and a few friends still used it when talking to me, for it is far more convenient and more rapid than lip reading. At Cambridge School, the plan was to have Miss Sullivan attend the classes with me and interpret to me the instruction given. My instructors had had no experience with any but normal pupils, and my own means of conversing with them was reading their lips. It soon became evident to my teachers that I needed no special instruction in some subjects, beyond a study of the books prescribed by the college. When I began my second year, I was full of hope and determination to succeed. But during the first few weeks, I was confronted with unforeseen difficulties. Many of the books I needed had not been embossed in time for me to begin with the classes. The classes I was in were very large, and it was impossible for the teachers to give me special instruction. Miss Sullivan was obliged to read all of the books to me and interpret for the instructors, and for the first time in 11 years, it seemed as if her dear hand would not be equal to the task. In a word, every study had its obstacles. At the beginning, we had agreed that I should take 5 years to prepare for college. But at the end of the first year, the success of my examination showed that I could complete my preparation in 2 years. My headmaster at first agreed to this, but when my tasks had become somewhat perplexing, he insisted that I was overworked. In November, I was not very well and did not go to school. I lost all courage and betrayed my feelings in a way I am ashamed to remember. My headmaster declared that I was breaking down and made changes in my studies which would have rendered it impossible for me to take my final examinations with my class. In the end, I was withdrawn from the Cambridge school. They did not realize how difficult they were making my examinations, nor did they understand the peculiar difficulties I had to surmount. Any teacher can take a child to the classroom, but not every teacher can make him learn. My life, with all its limitations, had its dark days, which were brightened by my education. If they unintentionally placed obstacles in my way, I have the consolation of knowing that I overcame them all. Everyone who wishes to gain true knowledge must climb the hill difficulty alone. And since there is no royal road to the summit, I must zigzag it in my own way. I slip back many times. I fall. I stand still. I run against the edge of hidden obstacles. I lose my temper again and keep it better. I gain a little. I get more eager. I climb higher and begin to see the widening horizon. One more effort and I reach the peaks of my desire. My heart is still undisciplined and passionate, but my tongue will not speak the bitter words that rise to my lips, and they fall back into my heart like unshed tears. I have been asked, "Do people not bore you?" I do not quite understand what this means. I dislike people who try to talk down to my understanding. They are like the people who, when walking with you, try to shorten their steps to suit yours. The hypocrisy in both situations is equally exasperating. A hearty handshake or a friendly letter gives me genuine pleasure. It is that my friends who have made the story of my life. In 1,000 ways, they have turned my limitations into beautiful privileges and enabled me to walk serene and happy in the shadow cast by my deprivation.